Hello, YouTubers, and welcome back to another episode of Wargaming 2022. I am, as always, your host, AR, with Ohio Patriot Education Network. So, for today's episode, we're going to talk about a couple of different topics. We're going to obviously discuss the actual final results of Ohio's primaries from last night. We're also going to discuss the possibility of what Wargaming 2024 will be like, and Kentucky. So we're going to start out with Kentucky first, obviously. For those that haven't heard or haven't been paying attention in the last few days and stuff like that, obviously there's been, for about the last week or so, crazy flooding going on across this country. I believe there is some in Arizona. I know that for a fact there was some in Arizona, in Nevada, and stuff like that. Also, unfortunately, people tend to forget that Kentucky is one of the big flood areas, and they had, I believe it was over a foot of rain in very quick succession of flash floods, and it just devastated entire towns in that state. And I will give one thing to Andy Bashir. He is actually making a very, very good um, podium speech to the point where he potentially could be the 2024 nominee for the Democrat Party at this point. Now, granted, am I ever going to vote Democrat ever again? Fuck no, because those people suck ass, dude. That being said, Bashir, I feel like, is kind of one of these blue dog Democrat types and stuff like that, where the other day it was something where a reporter asked him a question about like climate change stuff and whatnot, and he was like, "Yeah, I totally believe in that thing, but that's not what we're here to talk about today. We're here to talk about other things," is what it is. And for that, it was basically him, you know, sort of giving the brush off and being like, "Hey, we're not here to talk about that right now. We're here to talk about these families that are missing and people trying to get their loved ones back and everything else like that." And seemed to legitimately give a shit is what it was, dude. And that's the big thing when you look at any of these political parties anymore, whether it be Democrat or Republican or anything else for that matter, is there's not many of them that seem to care anymore. And that's unfortunate that you have politicians, elected officials that refuse to actually, care about the people that are their constituents is what it is. And it seems like Bashir is giving a crap right now. Now, granted, that could be the fact that I'm pretty sure Kentucky is a midterm election cycle right now, and he is a free election this year. Granted, that being said, I still think the guy gives a damn is what it is, dude, because of the fact that even looking back at 2021 when they had all those twisters and stuff like that, he seemed to very much be, out there, boots on the ground, viewing the devastation, helping people out where he could and stuff like that. And it really brings me to something that I'm going to talk about today, which is I know that we're going into, we're pretty much in a recession at this point. Inflation is high as fuck right now, but, you look at what these people in Kentucky lost, man, they lost everything. If y'all could spare food or, a case of water or something like that, be cool, donate something to these people, man, because they have nothing anymore. Even just a meal for most of these people would be awesome. And I plan on donating some of this stuff myself, even though I don't really have much to donate myself, dude. But like, I'm gonna send some food down to Kentucky on one of the trucks from Ohio. So, you know, and basically it leads back to what I wanted to talk about with 2024 right there, which is when you look at what's shaping up to be the presidency for 2024 and stuff like that, the actual race. Obviously, people were talking about Trump running again. People were talking about Ron DeSantis potentially running for the nominee for the Republican Party. There's not a whole lot of names that are coming up for 2024 for Democrats, except there's psychopaths like Gavin Newsom and potentially Gretchen Whitmer, who are both psychotic nut jobs that belong in prison forever right now, is what it is, dude. Which leads me to something that I want to talk about right now, which is Andy Bashir of Kentucky. I think stands a very good chance in this field, dude, if he wants to jump with the Democrat primary right now for 2024. And that's what I'm saying. Like the guy's making enough waves right now by doing good stuff to where he could easily be a middle of the road Democrat type dude. He could basically be the Tulsi Gabbard of this go around and potentially have a real shot at actually taking the nominee is what it is, dude. So yeah, I thought it was very interesting that, of all the people that, could potentially be in there, like I think Bashir definitely is very, and I'm not going to sit here and say that the guy's not like, extreme on certain topics and stuff like that, because I think he is, like I said, the climate change thing. But again, he shut down that reporter pretty quickly on it. Is what it was. It seems to me though, being I don't know 100% if he's actually talked about anti-gun stuff there in Kentucky or not, because I know Kentucky is a stand your ground state. I'm pretty sure, and I know for a fact it's a constitutional carry state. And my thing is, as far as I know, he hasn't really attacked the Second Amendment as governor there. So I'm not going to sit here and say the guy's pro-gun or anything like that, but like, I'm sure there was something where it's like, probably some backdoor meeting with him and people, and they're like, he's like, hey, what can we do to actually, try to restrict people's rights here, whatever the case be. And they're like, yeah, not much, dude, and especially if you not want to get reelected, is what it is. And he's like, okay, cool, let's just not do anything then, is what it would be then. Which that's the thing, dude. Sometimes doing nothing is better than doing, stupid shit like the fucking, federal Democrats try to do right now with the assault was ban crap and everything else like that. I know it's supposed to be going to the Senate here at some point this month, I believe is what it is. So hopefully it won't be the same 10 rhino sacks of shit that sold us out on red flags like that asshole Rob Portman. Honestly, that dude retiring along with the rest of these scumbags that are retiring, like the Pat Toomey's and fucking Richard Burrs and stuff like that, dude, they should have been tossed into office already. We should have had special elections to replace them for, whether it be 4 months, 6 months, whatever it is. But anyway, that's swinging it back to Ohio's primaries last night. I'm going to talk about that for a little bit here. Unfortunately, Cleveland.com put up a thing where it has some of the stuff on there for some of the races, but not all of them, which I thought was kind of bullshit. That being said, I did get Ballot PD up here, and there was some interesting things that happened last night. I think the biggest telling one was that people apparently don't want a Vitale legacy in our state house right now, because Lily Vitale lost last night to Tim Barhorst, which I thought was very interesting. And it'll be very interesting to see if Barhorst is actually as constitutional as Nino was. And if that be the case, dude, I think honestly, if it had been Nino Vitale up for like a 5th term, if he was able to run for 5 terms or whatever, then he probably would have won it straight up, dude. But the fact that you had him basically sort of clown out on some stuff in this last couple of years is what it was, whether it be not impeaching DeWine, whether it be, refusing to actually put like goods, like basically, I mean, he did stand his ground quite a bit on constitutional carry and stuff like that and trying to put amendments back in it, but then he was basically shut down by the party leadership, unfortunately, here. And I'm thinking maybe people looked at that as like, what, is that going to be the same shit we're going to see with your wife kind of thing is what it is. And that's why they put it for somebody else is what it ends up being, which, good on the people there for doing that, because it basically shows like, no, we're not going to let, one family have like a fucking legacy in some district or whatever, dude. On the flip side of that, though, is this Barhorst guy going to be as constitutional as Vitale would have been? Obviously, in that case, it would be Lily Vitale. Either way, I will, have discussions with the guy if he's able to win that state congressional seat there and actually discuss some stuff with him, because there's a lot of people I plan on talking with here in the next couple of months. I'm going to be getting out of Columbus for this parental rights committee in September. That's my plan is right now, honestly. And if I can get down to the state house that day, I'm going to try to talk with a bunch of lawmakers that day about different 2A stuff to do in the next General Assembly then, and hopefully talk with some of these new people coming in then eventually, various things, and basically just get some stuff rolling where Ohio Patriot Education Network and Ohioans for Firearms Freedom would both be known entities down at the Ohio State House, and if that be the case, dude, and they would actually understand that, like, yeah, it's time to get stuff done here, and it's time to actually do, like, better, Second Amendment bills, and actually, put good teeth back into what is currently Stand Your Ground, which does not have teeth in it when it comes to defending yourself without having to catch charges, or not catch charges, without having to catch civil lawsuits is what it is, which is absolute bullshit entirely, because the whole point of Stand Your Ground is being like, no, I did nothing wrong. This scumbag attacked me. I defended myself. Their dumbass family shouldn't be allowed to sue me, which unfortunately is not the case right now. And it's because piece of shit rhinos like Kyle Kellner fought the damn thing down last year is what it was, dude. And that's why I've been talking with people for over a year now about, hey, reintroduce the better version here and get that shit passed is what it is. And nobody did nothing is what it is, dude. So hopefully there'll be new people that actually do something is what it is, man. But anyway, so going on to discuss a couple things here. One thing I thought was very interesting, and this is something that I was talking about last night, which was the primary between Bride Rose Sweeney and Monique Smith. So Sweeney actually won. Hopefully she will actually be a 2-termer, though, is what it is, dude, and will lose re-election here to that Michael Lamb guy, because both her and Smith are, like I said last night, anti-gun sacks of shit, who were both the 29. Smith was the 2021 version of Red Flag Laws primary sponsor, and then Sweeney was the 2019 version right after Dayton happened. So, but anyway, that was one of the things we're going to talk about here right now, which is this election result thing there, which was basically Representative Bride Rose Sweeney defeats Representative Monique Smith in face-off between West Side Cuyahoga County Democrats. That's awesome, dude. I am so happy to see that. Because obviously you're going to get rid of one of these two pieces of shit, and then hopefully it'll be the second one I'll go to as well when that seat flips red. I don't know if it will or not, but it would be awesome if it did, though. But, yeah, for those interested, Bride Rose Sweeney is the brunette in the red right there on the right side, and Monique Smith is the one in the purple. She's the blonde hair lady there. Interestingly, Smith was actually discussing stuff about how this was back when they were doing constitutional carry, I believe earlier this year, or maybe it was the end of last year, one of the two. It was whenever it did the House floor vote, basically. She was up grandstanding about some bullshit and being like, as the survivor of domestic violence and abuse, and I think she said something about being raped. I'm not sure about that one, or maybe just sexually assaulted. Maybe that's what it was. I'm not sure. But yeah, she's like, yeah, if it wasn't for all this bullshit, like I would totally be da-da-da-da. And it's like, so what you're basically telling us is if you had had a gun and you were able to stop your fucking attacker, you would have actually been better off, lady. And now you're sitting there trying to restrict the rights of others to do that same thing. So fuck you, lady. I'm so glad you lost. I'm so glad you lost this primary. Honestly. Like, it's one of the best things that could happen here. Fucking piece of trash. But anyway. Yeah, they both are, though. Seriously, man. And then, of course, going down this a little bit further, it says, with absentee vote in, Bride Rose Sweeney holds early lead over Monique Smith in Cleveland area, Ohio House race, and that was last night. So, yeah, she ended up winning, I think it said, actually, let me see if I can find the other Cleveland.com article here, because I'm pretty sure it actually specifically says what the results were between the two of them there. So, yeah, I'm trying to find here it is. All right, so this is actually some of the races. Unfortunately, like I said, they didn't grab all of them from AP there, which would have been nice if they had. But we do see a couple new people that are getting into office now with this whole thing. Which you had Jolene Austin beat David Morgan by about less than 300 votes, actually, between the two of them last night. So Austin's going to end up getting into District 14, which I think is actually going to be a general election race. Let me check that just to make sure on that real quick. Yeah, she'll be facing off against Sean Brennan in that election in November then. And then you had Thomas Patton, the current incumbent, literally defeat Ryan McClain by like, what is it, quadruple digits basically here. McClain didn't even make 1,000 fucking votes out of this dude, which is just pathetic entirely. Like, that's just a piss poor showing right there, dude. Then going a little bit further down, you had Marty Gallagher beat Sarah McGavie in District 53. They will be facing off against, I'm trying to see my thing here. I think there's a face-off in that. Yeah, Marty will be facing off against incumbent Joe Miller. So hopefully he'll actually be able to beat Joe Miller and flip that seat red. That'd be pretty cool if that happens, dude. District 67. You had Melanie Miller beat Ron Falcone and Terry Robinson by a bunch. And then, yeah, of course, here you go with the yeah, then you got Bride Rose Sweeney beat Monique Smith by about roughly 1,000 votes, a little more than that, just over that. So that was a pretty close race, dude. That was surprisingly close, actually, between those two. The fact that you had Bride Rose Sweeney being 4,695 votes to Monique Smith's 3,661 votes. So comparing that to the Terrence Upchurch, blowout here where the guy took 33-17, and Michael Seals didn't even make 1,000. He had 949 votes. That's just pathetic. Then for the Democrat primaries, you got District 21 there. Elliot Forhorn pretty much blew out the field, took 5,000 plus votes. Jonathan Hoadley took just under 3,000 at 2,998. And then Michael Andres took less than 1,000 at 83. Juanita Brent obviously won her primary pretty, handily there, defeating both Vincent Stokes and Danielle Durust by, Stokes, it was like basically 3.5 to 1. And then for Durust, it was like 8 to 1, basically. So 70% of the vote there. And then sadly, going a little bit further down there, you got State Senate. That piece of shit Nathan Manning is going to get probably another term there because he won his primary. And then Kent Smith defeated John Barnes in the Democrat primary for District 21. So I think Smith is actually a current state rep, or he was maybe a state rep last go around between 2019 and 2020. I'm not sure. I can't remember offhand. But yeah, so basically there's that. And then, going on to talk about a couple other things here. Actually, I'm going to go to State Senate real quick for all these races just to confirm who's doing what here. All right, so Tina Maharoth will be facing Michelle Reynolds for District 3. Rob McCulley and Stephen Hoffman are both going to be in District 1 and 5, respectively, most likely against nobody in the thing. Steve Wilson will be facing David Dallas for District 7. Wilson is the incumbent Republican. David Dallas hopefully doesn't stand a chance in that district. Piece of shit, Catherine Ingram, who is a current state rep who's now running for State Senate, will be facing off against Orlando Sanza for District 9 come the fall. Pamela Hicks Hudson, who's also another Democrat state rep, will be facing off against Tony Daya for District 11 State Senate there. Again, this is why we need to stop these flip-floppers, dude, and be like, no, you are done here, bro. You've had your time in our state house. You don't need to be in our state senate for the next, 4 years or 8 years or what the fuck it's going to be then. So, anyway, other than that, we got other races there. We had, obviously, like I said, Nathan Manning won his primary. He'll be facing off against Anthony Esapilos, who is the Democrat candidate there. Herschel Craig just won flat out because there was no Republican primary, so he'll probably get another term in office in District 15. Scumbag Shane Wilkin, who's a state rep, took it from Tom Hung, who I would have loved to see Hung actually win that because fuck Shane Wilkin. He's the piece of shit rhino who sold us out and held us hostage in committee for well over 6 months when it came to constitutional carry. Ohio should have been 22 and 22 legitimately last year or this year. And if it wasn't for Shane Wilkin holding the damn votes in the committee there for, 6 months plus, I think it was actually, at the end of the day, it was more like 9 months. We would have actually had the shit, at the end of the last year is what it would have been, and then been an actual constitutional carry state here in 2022. The first one probably, instead of being like the second or third is what it was. But yeah, Wilkin will face off against Gary Boone for District 17. Andrew Brenner will face Heather Swanger. Brenner is the incumbent. He was the guy that had the belt across his chest and was acting like he was sitting in a fucking room that one time on a Zoom call, which is so stupid. It's like, dude, just drive to the other fucking thing. Be like, hey, guys, sorry you can't be part of this committee today. Got to go over here and drive for like 10 minutes. You don't want to be distracted driving and stuff like that. So, anyway, that being said, like I said, going back to the District 21 Kent Smith one, Mikhail Alterman will be the Republican in that race for District 21. Nikki Antonio obviously won her primary because the other person didn't make the ballot. She'll be facing off against Laundry Simmons Jr., who's a Republican candidate in the fall. Hopefully, if he can actually flip that district, that'd be pretty sweet. District 25, you got William DeMora will be facing Chandler Walkinshe. I think it's how I pronounce the guy's name. Chandler is who we want to win because that would actually change it. That would actually make that District 25 a Republican stronghold then. I am so fucking... The one thing I'm so glad with District 25 is that Crystal Lett did not make that fucking ballot, dude, because fuck her, dude. You want to talk about the biggest anti-gun, anti-life fucking cunt in Ohio history, dude? Like, Crystal Lett is 100% that person, dude. She tried to go up against Stephanie Coonsey in 2020 election cycle and almost beat Coonsey. Coonsey's the rhino sack of shit, by the way. He was signed on to red flag laws a couple times now, dude. And 100% is, I guarantee, is taking money from Bloomberg at this point, dude. And Coonsey should be thrown out of office herself at this point, dude, and replaced with a different Republican entirely. or just some constitutionalist who it would be that runs the Republicans would be, dude. There was a point there was Republican then. But yeah, either way, Crystal Led is just a complete sack of shit. She was bought and paid for by Planned Parenthood and Bloomberg and everything else like that, dude. And thank God she was not able to make this ballot is what it was, dude. Because that would have been a fucking nightmare entirely, bro. So, anyway, what was I going to say then? Yeah, going on from there, we got, sorry, I was checking my phone right now for a minute. Trying to do some stuff to go. I was literally just trying to figure some things out right now. I got a couple things I'm dealing with right now. And unfortunately, nothing, it's just a lot of personal shit, honestly. Nothing I even want to talk about on camera, though. But, yeah, anyway. Going back to the districts for state senate there. District 27, Patricia Gotez is going to be facing current incumbent Christina Romer. I think Romer's going to beat her hands down. Unfortunately, sack of shit Kirk Shearing, who I would have actually run against, is going to get reelected again. Al Landis is actually going to be the Republican for District 31. It seems like there's no Democrats on that unless Kenneth Chambers actually gets into the midterm election and gets on that ballot somehow. And then District 33, Robert Hogan is going to be going up against Michael Ruley. I believe Ruley was the one I talked to about probably 7 months ago, something like that. It was either the very end of December or the very beginning of January of this year. And I was discussing with them because they put up a piece of legislation that essentially would have made Ohio a Second Amendment sanctuary, but they weren't calling it that. They were calling it something else real stupid. And I was like, hey, I'm confused by the wording of this. Like, could you explain it to me a little bit? And he's like, basically the way he explained it was, oh yeah, we're doing some shady ass tactics that Democrats like to do where they call something else. And then it's actually going to be this thing if it gets passed and stuff like that, which as far as I know, it never did get committees and stuff like that yet, or it might be sitting in committee right now, like waiting to be voted on in the Senate or something like that come, September here. So I don't know, man. Either way, very interesting. But like I said, this is the problem with playing politics and the corruption and everything else like that in the state, dude, is like enough is enough of this shit, dude. Just be fucking for real, dude. If it's gonna be something pro 2A, just say it's something pro 2A. You're fucking, you have an oath to office, dude. Be an oath keeper. Stop being an oath breaker. All that shit like that is what it is, dude. But anyway, going back to the overall districts for the state house, though, you had Dontavius Jarrells win his primary. Latasha Humphrey won her primary. It does not say who actually won District 3 here, so I'm guessing that maybe that is such a close race between the 5 of those people for the Democrat primary. Because I know Ismail Muhammad was the one that was leading, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe I think maybe he was trailing Kelly Horup, or one opposite way of that. Maybe it was Muhammad was winning and Horup was basically in second or something last night. I know it was something like that when I looked at the New York Times reports and stuff. And there was 3 other people in this race. So I'm wondering if it was something where it was such a close race. They're like, hey, we haven't been able to call it yet. But anyway, one of those 5 people will be going up against J. Josiah Lanning come the fall then. Jill Rudler won her primary and will be facing off against Mary Lightbody in the 4th district. Ronald Beach, the 4th, will be facing off against Richard Brown in the 5th district. Hopefully he can flip that. Like I said last night, Adam Miller was actually in the Democrat primary for District 6. He'll be facing off against Joe Worthington come the fall. Hopefully Worthington can actually take that seat then. And then Allison Russo, unfortunately, is going to be another fucking like 3rd-term person or whatever. Zuli Trumpier actually won a write-in candidacy there against that piece of shit and is going to be facing off against that piece of shit Beth Liston. Manira Abduli actually beat Phil Flippany last night for the 9th district for the Democrats. And I think, or sorry, not Phil, Paul Flippany. I think Paul was the guy, if I'm not mistaken. He was the dude who I talked about before. Yes, that was the guy. Paul was that dude that was the Giffords plant in our primaries here. So, yeah, the other Abduli woman who I think was originally from India. Oh, wait, no. I'm wrong about that one. Looks like maybe Somalia, actually. Given that they finally have a picture of her here, and it's basic. Oh my god! Oh my god! Don't tell me! Don't tell me this woman is the Ohio version of Ilhan Omar, dude! Holy fuck, that would be terrible. Oh my god! I'm gonna go ahead and do the picture of this woman here. This is the woman that won election last night in District 9, dude. Dude, I pray to God that somebody gets on that Republican ballot for the fall and can take this woman out in the actual election cycle, dude, because yeah, Ohio doesn't need no Omars, dude, for real. So anyway, that is fucking dude. Oh my god. Oh, Jesus Christ, dude. Anyway, District 10, David Dobos who actually won because Laurel and East didn't even make the ballot, who's the incumbent right now. So Dobos will be facing off against Russell Harris on the Democrat side. District 11, you will have Omar Thomas Taranzi, who actually wanted to win, will be facing off against Aneta Samini. Brian Stewart won District 12 hands down. Michael Skindell will be facing off against Keith Davey in the fall. Like I said earlier, Jolene Austin will be facing Democrat Sean Brennan in District 14. That'll be an interesting race because no matter what, we'll see a new person in our state house because of that one. District 15, most likely Richard De La Legua will actually just become a new Democrat representative there unless Shay Hawkins or somebody else is able to get on the Republican side and be a challenger to that dude and be able to get on the ballot somehow, either as a write-in or something else for that matter, dude. And like I said, you got Bridget Kelly beating Monique Smith. That's fucking awesome to see two Democrat piece of shits have to face off against each other, dude. And then hopefully, not Bridget Kelly, Brad Rose Sweeney beat Monique Smith. I keep confusing those two chicks because honestly, they're both anti-gunners. And the thing is, I've confused both Bride Rose Sweeney and Bridget Kelly for each other before because it's Bridget Kelly who looks like a fucking demon shark, dude. I shit you not. Look up that woman's fucking photos, dude. She just looks like a fucking demon shark in a human being's body right now, dude. And yeah, I keep confusing her with Bride Rose Sweeney all the time because my mind always goes back to like Corpse Bride stuff or whatever. So, but anyway, so current incumbent Thomas Patton's going to be facing off against Troy Greenfield in the fall. Daryl Brewer won the Democrat primary in District 18. They will be facing off against Sheila Taylor, who actually run a write-in campaign in the Republican primary. So hopefully Taylor will actually be able to take down that seat and become a new state rep then. Piece of shit Phil Robinson obviously won his primary because everybody else got knocked off the ballot. So he basically won by default is what it was. So he'll be facing off against Ron Burrow come the fall. Hopefully Burrow can flip that seat red. Obviously, like I said earlier, Terrence Upchurch beat Michael Seals. He'll basically get another term in office. Elliot Fullhorn will be facing off against Kelly Powell. Hopefully Powell can take that District 21 down and make it a Republican stronghold now. Juanita Brent beat two challengers and will be basically their representative for District 22 again. Daniel Troy will obviously won his primary by default. Will be facing off against George Phillips in the fall. Danny Isaac John will be facing Adam Collier come the fall here. Hopefully, AK can actually take it down and make that a Republican stronghold there. So, yeah, I think actually come to think of it, I think this might be the guy looking at this dude's picture, this other Adam guy. I think this might be the guy who was at our state house this past go around and was talking about he's been trying to work on upping the what am I thinking now? Yeah, he's been trying to basically make it so that you can have people who have been statute of limitations out, that it would actually extend our statute of limitations now. So I think that's who this dude is. Sorry, I think that was the wrong one I just grabbed there. Yeah, this is what I'm thinking of right now. Okay. Do another screen share here. Grab the right one this time. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's this guy right here is the guy I was thinking of right now that's been in our state house for like about probably, I don't know, 6 months, 8 months, something like that. Sorry, the picture's not as big as it should be. But yeah, hopefully this guy will be able to become a state rep then. Because as far as I'm aware, the guy is like super pro-life, super, law and order kind of dude. It seems like kind of pro-gun too. So, that would be the best thing that could happen to our state house right now would be somebody like that in it. And then going on down the line, obviously you got piece of shit Cecil Thomas will be facing off against John Breton for District 25. Cecil Thomas is the current scumbag sack of shit in our state senate who should have been tossed out of office over a year ago just based on the crap he pulled back in 2020. Not to mention all the shit he pulled in 2019 when he put a bunch of crap through our state senate that was all anti-gun shit. I should have seen him arrested actually on that one and thrown out of our state house in deprivation rights of law. But yeah, he's another flip-flopping sack of shit here. And hopefully Breton can actually beat him in District 25 and take that into Republican hands then, dude. Cedric Denson won his primary by default last night in 26. I'm pretty sure Denson was the one that got busted for drugs twice in the past 2 general assemblies and still has not been thrown out. And it's like, bro, like, seriously, why are you letting this guy get like a whole bunch of OVIs here and shit like that, not toss him out of our fucking state house and replace him with somebody else, dude? Is it because there's nobody really to step up in District 25? Jesus fucking Christ, dude, for real. Like, fuck off, Democrat Party. Seriously. But most likely he'll end up being a third-term rep unless there's somebody that jumps up for the Republicans or independents or something else like that can beat him in the actual general election then. District 27 was interesting. Rachel Baker did beat Gabby Bagtrup for the Democrat primary, and then Jen Gorox, who was losing to Joe Murray early on, actually beat Joe, and she also beat Lindsay Cole as well. So it'll be hopefully Jen Gorox will actually beat Rachel Baker in the 27th district and become a new Republican state representative then. Jessica Miranda, who is the anti-gun fucking worthless cunt who basically won the whole thing, and I talked about her last night, about how she was all like, oh yeah, fucking, my grandpa taught me how to shoot guns, but this is why I'm anti-gun and why people shouldn't be able to constitutionally carry in this state. And it's like, fuck you, cunt. Not to mention this bitch was proxy voting like a bunch of times this year by claiming the I'm sick fucking Tim Ryan style bullshit, dude. Fuck that guy, by the way, too. Hopefully J.D. Vance can beat his ass in the fucking Senate race, too, very easily, dude. But, yeah, Jessica Moreno will be facing off against Chris Manziel. Hopefully Manziel can take that down and basically, put it into Republican hands here and hopefully a constitutionalist hands, if that be the case. Cindy Abrams will be facing Juan Valley in the 29th district. Bill Seitz, unfortunately, won his primary. He'll be facing off against Alyssa Mejas in the fall. Rita Doro won her primary against write-in Lucas Blower. She will be facing off against incumbent Bill Romer. Romer's definitely going to get reelected in that District 31. Same thing with Bob Young in District 32. He'll get reelected. Matt Shanahan has no chance of winning. Tavia Golonsky won hers by default last night in District 33 because nobody else is able to make the fucking ballot. Why am I not surprised by that one? She will be facing off against Christopher Anderson in District 33 in the fall. Hopefully, Anderson can make that district a Republican stronghold now because Tavia Golonsky is a fucking piece of shit, dude. And I mean that legitimately. Tavia Golonsky is one of the biggest anti-gun black supremacists in our state house currently right now, dude. She is also an anti-cop, by the way. And now she's trying to sit here and claim, oh, but now I'm pro-law enforcement because I'm trying to put a bunch of anti-gun shit into a fucking, LEO bill is what it is, dude. And it's a bunch of crap all the way around, dude. Fuck her. District 34, Casey Weinstein, who was the hate hoaxer in 2020 or in 2019, about a month after I got federally swatted, will be facing off against Beth Bigham come the fall. Hopefully, Beth can actually beat Casey in that race and turn that into Republican hands. Lori O'Neill versus Steve Demamucci or Demaruccio, something like that. I forget. I'm not sure if I pronounced that guy's name. If we're gonna be serious, dude. will be facing off for District 35. Either one will be a new representative here for that district, because I think what it was is a lot of these people, like your Ingrams, your Hicks Hudsons, et cetera, were termed out this go around, and they simply flipped over our state senate is what it was. And so you had to have these districts become new Democrats or new Republicans or whatever the case be, man. So yeah, hopefully Steve can take that down and beat Lori then. Andrea White will be facing off against Addison Caruso in District 36. I wouldn't be surprised if White won re-election there, because that seems to be pretty red there. Tom Young will definitely win, because there's pretty much nobody going to be in that race as far as I can tell. Same thing with Willis Blackspear Jr. on the opposite side for Democrat Party. He'll basically become a second-term incumbent in District 38. Phil Plummer is going to be facing off against write-in candidate LaRonda Jackson. I don't see him losing that race, dude, personally. Even with him being redistricted a little bit differently now, he still sits very, very hard red area, dude. So there's no way that that's going to flip, dude. And not to mention that Phil Plummer is actually, too many fucking Phils in our state house right now, dude. Phil Robinson's a piece of shit Democrat. Phil Plummer, who is the Republican incumbent, is actually a good guy. He is one of the few constitutionalists in our state house right now, dude, and was calling people out when it came to all these Moms Demand Action, people against gun stuff back in during the constitutional carry vote, and also last year during Stand Your Ground stuff as well. So Rodney Creech, current incumbent, will be facing off against Amy Cox in the 40th district. I don't see Creech not winning that race. Nancy Larson for Democrats will be facing off against Republican Josh Williams. Hopefully Williams can take that District 41 into red hands. Derek Marin, current incumbent, will be facing off against Erica White, who is a Democrat. Marin's probably going to get reelected, I'm guessing there. District 43, new people. Wendy Hendricks is going to be facing off against Michelle Grimm, who's a Democrat. Hopefully Hendricks can become a first-termer. Republican Roy Palmer III is going to be facing off against Elgin Rogers Jr. in District 44 in the fall. Hopefully Palmer can actually become a first-term rep. Jennifer Gross is going to incumbent is going to be facing off against Chris Horn, 45. That's pretty hard red. I think Gross is going to get a second term. Lawrence Mulligan, Democrat, is going to be facing off against incumbent Tom Hall. Tom Hall is almost guaranteed to win re-election. Same thing in District 47, Sarah Carruthers, who that little piece of shit Sam Lawrence is talking about. Oh, she's all about pay-to-play stuff. Yeah, bro, and you literally took fucking money from David Hogg's little fucking March for Our Lives asshole anti-gun group, you douchebag, so fuck you. Like, you want to talk about pay-to-play, Sam Lawrence, 18-year-old little punk-ass bitch? Let's talk about how you've taken money from every anti-gun and anti-life group in the state of Ohio right now that are funding your fucking campaign, bro. Otherwise, you wouldn't be known on fucking anything at this point, dude. Not to mention you're sitting there sucking Sherrod Brown's cheating-ass dick, being like, oh, he's my personal hero. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. For those wondering how I know this stuff, I actually followed this kid's fucking Twitter for 2 days is what it was. Because he was like, I basically walked through it one day is what it was, and basically I looked through a bunch of posts, and then like a couple weeks later, I was like, I wonder if this kid's still talking shit or whatever, because I thought he was going to catch a primary challenge in the Democrat Party there last night. And yeah, it was like that last time the other day when I was looking up some stuff, he ended up being one of like the responses to like some anti-gun shit or something like that, and I'm just like, what is this dumbass talking about these days? And I looked up his stuff again, and it was like, oh yeah, basically blowing Sherrod Brown's what it was, dude. And I'm just like, fuck you, kid. Fuck you. Seriously. But yeah, hopefully Carruthers can beat teenager Sam Lawrence and become another term state rep there. Scott Ollinger will be facing Dave Smith in District 48. Ollinger has been an incumbent for decades pretty much. Thomas West, who's a sack of shit, who I've talked about many, many times on this channel. Hopefully he will lose District 49 to Jim Thomas come the fall. My state rep, Reggie Stolfus, is going to win re-election no matter what. Same thing with Brett Hudson-Hillner in District 51. Gail Manning is going to be facing off against Regan Phillips in District 52. I actually wouldn't mind seeing Regan Phillips as a Democrat beat Gail Manning this time around, just because of the fact that, like I said before, Gail Manning, she created a TAPS Act, dude. Fuck her is what it is. Like, fuck her forever is what it is, dude. You are a rhino cunt lady, just like your asshole fucking husband, Nathan Manning, in the state senate. You both need to get the fuck out is what it is, dude, for real. So, anyway. Actually, I'm thinking. I think Nathan Manning's her husband, but he could be her son now I'm thinking about it. Either way, they're related somehow, is what it is. Fuck both of them. Either way, dude. Get the hell out, rhinos. Seriously, bro. District 53, which is incumbent Joe Miller, a Democrat. Hopefully he will lose to Marty Gallagher in the fall then. Dick Stain, who's the incumbent Republican, will face off against Brian Burgess come the fall. I wouldn't be surprised if Stain won re-election there. Same thing with Scott Lips in District 55, unfortunately. He won his primary against a couple people. He'll be facing off against Paul Zorn. Thank God, going to District 56. Sam Cho, the 17-year-old that was in this race, lost hard to Joy Bennett, dude. And I am so happy about that one. But they're both anti-gunners. They're both anti-lifers, dude, et cetera, et cetera. But thank God we're not going to have a fucking 17-year-old whose entire platform was, I would be the youngest state rep in history in the fucking actual midterm elections, dude, because good fucking Lord, dude. Oh, my God. Like, you want to talk about a shit show, man? Either way, Joy Bennett hopefully will lose to Adam Matthews in District 56 then, and you will see Mr. Matthews become the new Republican candidate for that actual seat then as representative. District 57, Jamie Callender's most likely going to beat Evan Rossborough. District 58, Al Catrona's most likely going to get another election when he would beat Bruce Neff in that general election. Lauren McNally won against three other Democrats last night in District 59. She will most likely become a new state rep. Chris Jordan won his primary. He will most likely become a third, fourth term or whatever it is now in District 60. For those interested, Chris Jordan is the guy who is actually a great fucking dude. He's one of the few constitutionalists in our state house right now. I've talked to him personally several times, and he is actually, it was him and Tom Brinkman who were the ones that created the legislation for a constitutional carry that became the House side version that wasn't actually picked up, was the Senate side version that was actually became law now as constitutional carry. But they were the ones that were like, nah, here's why we need a constitutional carry in the state, dude. And they were the ones that got the fucking ball rolling. So good on you, Chris Jordan. Hopefully you can get another term in office. And I look forward to working with you, come both the fall and next year and stuff like that when it comes to two-way stuff, dude. So anyway, moving on to District 61, you had Louis Valentine win his Democrat primary pretty much uncontested. Current fake-ass incumbent Sean Stevens lost to mega person Beth Lear, dude. And I am so happy about that one, dude. I am so fucking happy to see Beth Lear actually win that race, dude. Like, that is one of the few I'm like, yes, because fuck Sean Stevens, dude. Sean Stevens is a fucking rhino piece of crap, dude. I've looked into this guy. This dude is 100% corrupt as fuck. And I guarantee if he was actually looked into, being an appointee for the last, 3-4 months now, he would probably be the one to crack open the Republican corruption in the state house, as well as the Democrat corruption on top of that, dude. So, and the same thing the opposite way when you got people like Allison Russo. Like, she would be the fucking linchpin for the Democrats going down in the state house and taking down some Republicans with her is what it is, dude. They're a bunch of rhino sacks of shit. So, anyway, moving on from there, we got District 62. You will have incumbent Gene Schmidt go up against Brian Flick for that in the general election. Democrat Richard Perry won his write-in in that District 63. He will be facing off against incumbent Adam Byrd in the fall. Byrd will probably win that election pretty much hands down. District 64, Vince Peterson II, Democrat, will be facing off against Nick Santucci. Santucci hopefully will make that a Republican stronghold for years to come now. District 65, Mike Loychek beat Randy Law by a lot is what it was, dude. Honestly, if anything, I would have liked to see Randy Law and some other primary dude, maybe against Gail Manning or something like that, if he was able to be in that district. Because my thing is, it was kind of stupid to try to primary Loychek. Loychek is one of the better guys in our state house right now, dude. Like I said, Loychek, it was Loychek and I'm trying to think who the other woman is now. Not the woman, the woman, I should say, not the other woman. Loychek is obviously a man, but the whole thing is, yeah, there's a very old woman who is in our state house as the current state rep right now, dude, and I'm trying to remember what the fuck her name is offhand, and it's blanking on me right now. But yeah, it was her and him were the ones that were the primary sponsors of Ohio to become a Second Amendment sanctuary state. So yeah, it's like, why would you ever try to primary out the guy who is literally trying to get shit done and make things happen for Ohio to become a two-way sanctuary, dude? That's just dumb. That's just a dumbass play, dude. If anything, go to the state senate and try to beat one of those guys, dude, for real. Let's see, District 66. Michael Oliver won his write-in campaign. He will be facing off against current incumbent Sharon Ray. She will win re-election, almost guaranteed. District 67, Drew Burge was basically the only Democrat in that primary. He will be facing off against Melanie Miller come the fall. Hopefully Miller can actually take that down and become District 67's new rep. This is one I thought was very interesting. I'm going to go ahead and do a little screen share here because you want to talk about incumbents being primaried last night, dude. This is actually one of the best ones that could have happened. District 67, Mark Fraser was beat by Thaddeus Cleggett. I am shocked. I am shocked by that, dude. Like, I was very surprised. And I think Frazier is probably too. He's like, what the fuck just happened here? I'm pretty sure, though, people got pissed enough at Frazier, and rightfully so, dude, because he was one of the fucking people that put, it was back in 2020, he was the one that did, beginning of 2021, that's what I'm thinking of. He was one of the ones that I believe nominated our current Speaker of the House, Bob Cupp, for the speakership. And people were like, nah, fuck you, dude. You put one of the biggest oath breakers in there for all time. You have these assholes not fucking impeach DeWine and stuff like that. It's like, nah, fuck you, Frazier. You're done here, bitch. And I'm glad to see the people there actually get this Thaddeus Cleggett guy in there now. And most likely Thaddeus will end up winning that district then, because I don't think there's going to be any Democrats in that race in the fall at all, dude. So District 69, Kevin Miller, incumbent, who was basically appointed. I believe 69 was where who's that one scumbag? The dude who was our ex-Speaker of the House that went down for the HB6 scandal, Larry Householder. Kevin Miller, I believe, was the guy that replaced Larry Householder in that district, which, mind you, Householder shouldn't even been able to run for re-election. The fact that he was under FBI investigation then, dude. It's like, nah, fuck that, dude. The guy's clearly going to go down for shit here. Why are you letting him run for re-election in 2020 election cycle? That was fucking dumb. And then you had to put this guy in place there. He's going to be facing off against Charlotte Owens in the fall. Representative Brian Lempton won his primary. He'll be facing off against Eric Price in the fall. Bill Dean will be facing off against James Duffy. Gail Pachabia will be facing off against Catherine Hyde. Incumbent Jeff LaRae will basically take District 73. Write-in candidate for the Democrats, Daniel Sachs, will be facing off against Bernard Willis. Hopefully Bernard Willis can take District 64 into Republican hands. Hazi Gambari will be facing off against Jan Martardi in District 75. I'm sure I'm bastardizing her name. I don't know how to pronounce it, dude. It's spelled very weird. I'll say it like that, dude. But hopefully Gambari will actually be able to become another term state rep there. Justin Andrews, Democrat, won his write-in candidacy. He will be facing off against incumbent Marilyn John. John will probably get reelected again, is my guess. Scott Wiggum will be facing off against Mark Gooch in District 77. Wiggum is the guy who is currently the chair of the committee where where two-way sanctuary is being held at right now in the Ohio General Assembly, and hopefully it can get through at some point here, dude. So I'm gonna call him up one of these days again and be like, hey, I see you won your primary there, buddy. How about you do your job again and actually show people why you should be elected back into office this fall and actually put through the fucking, two-way sanctuary stuff, dude, and stop the Democrats from doing a goddamn AWB at a federal level, because fuck them. Seriously. Anyway, District 78, you had Susan Manchester, incumbent, beat J.J. Sherman. District 79, you will either see Democrat Taylor Eastham or Republican Monica Robb Basdell become the new representative there. Hopefully Monica will actually take that down, dude. Hopefully we can get rid of a Monique and make a Monica, is what it is, dude. Jenna Powell obviously won her primary hands down because she was the only one in it. Versus anybody, she will most likely win re-election again in District 80. Powell's a good chick, honestly, dude. She's the one that's all, pro female sports and stuff like that. and not wanting to see her, younger siblings get fucked over by dudes in women's sports is what it is, dude. So, ironically enough, she was the one that was actually in our state house not long ago, and you had that piece of shit Mike Skindell who was trying to like shout her down and be like, no, we should allow dudes in women's sports. It's like, fuck you, Skindell. Shut your goddamn mouth, you fucking douchebag. Anyway, District 81, Representative James Hoops is going to get reelected again. District 82, you will have Magdalene Markward will be facing off against Ron Kempfinston, I think is to pronounce the guy's name. Or sorry, not Ron, Roy Kempfinston. Hopefully Roy will be a new incumbent, or will become a new incumbent in 2024, I should say. Hopefully he'll be the new Republican for that state house seat then, dude. Claire Osborne will be facing off against Republican John Cross in District 83. Cross will win that election pretty much hands down. Sophia Rodriguez for Democrats will be facing off against Republican Angela King in District 84. Hopefully King can take that one down. Like I said, going to District 85, you had Tim Barhos beat Lily Vitale and Rochelle Folk. Barhos will most likely become the new representative for that district. Incumbent Tracy Richardson beat Michael Boland in her primary, and she will be facing off against Barbara Luke in District 86 come the fall. Rodin McLean won his primary hands down because there's nobody else in it. He will most likely take District 87 again from the term. Gary Click, incumbent, will be facing off against Diane Salvi, who's a write-in the fall. Click will probably win re-election for a second term. DJ Swearingen will end up facing Jim Morgenthau in the fall. I don't know, man. I would like to see Swearingen get thrown out of office, honestly, on this one, just because of the fact he put all the Terry Stop shit into our constitutional carry legislation when he didn't need to because he's an asshole. Because fuck him. Whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, District 90, you will see Representative Brian Boldridge go up against Andrew Dotson in the fall. District 91, current state senator Bob Peterson is now going to become a new state rep. Fucking flip-flopping sack of shit. Fuck him. District 92, Mark Johnson is probably going to get reelected again. District 93, Jason Stevens is going to get reelected again. District 94, Jay Edwards is probably going to get reelected again. They will be facing off against Ryan Goodman in the fall. Representative Don Jones will be facing off against William Ryan in the fall. Hopefully Don can win re-election again. Representative Ron Ferguson will be facing off against Charlie DePalma in the fall. Hopefully they can win re-election again as a Republican there. District 97, Adam Holmes will get reelected again. District 98, Daryl Kick was able to win his primary. He will most likely get reelected again. And then Sarah Fowler Arthur will be facing off against Abby Kovis in the fall in District 99. Hopefully she will be able to beat Kovis and become a second term rep then. Sarah Fowler Arthur's a good chick. She's a pro-constitutional person. Pro-2A, pro-life. She was the one who was one of the people that was talking about, actually the reason that we have the parental rights bill going into our state house right now in the fall for hearings and stuff like that is because of Sarah Fowler Arthur, dude. It was her and the old woman who I was talking about earlier who was on the 2A sanctuary bill. It was that same woman who was on the parental rights bill with Sarah Fowler Arthur and stuff like that, dude. So, as the primary people. But either way, so yeah, it's interesting. Like I said, though, I am so fucking happy that even the Democrat Party in the state of Ohio, as psychotic as some of them are at a federal level, at least they were smart on a fucking state level and be like, hey, we're not going to vote in a 17-year-old kid, dude, in that idiot Sam Cho. And it's like, thank you, people. Like, thank you, people of that district. Joy Bennett wasn't any better, by the way. let's just say it like it is, dude. She's also a Bloomberg fuck girl is what it is, dude. But at least she wasn't a fucking child, dude. At least she wasn't a fucking Tide Pod eating teenager, for God's sakes. So, anyway, it'll be interesting to see what happens in November. But like I said, going full circle back to the beginning of this, it'll be interesting to see if Andy Beshear strikes while the iron's hot there in Kentucky and actually tries to run for 2024 as a Democrat then for the presidential race. So, Also, hopefully Sarah Carruthers can actually beat punk ass Sam Lawrence, dude. That's another thing I hope actually at the end of the day. Because I would like, I want to see that kid cry, honestly, at this point, dude. I want to see him cry more, honestly, is what it is, dude. Because he is like, Sam Lawrence is basically the Ohio David Hogg at this point, dude. And I would just love to see him fucking cry when he loses to a 35, 40-year-old woman is what it is. I think if I'm not mistaken, Carruthers is in her 40s now. I'm thinking about it, dude. So she's probably like 42, 43, something like that. So I would love to see an 18-year-old kid lose to someone in her, early 40s is what it is, dude. Because again, this kid, just like Sam Cho, shouldn't even been in the fucking primaries, dude, because they're fucking 18 years old, for God's sakes. You have no life experience at that point, dude. What's your life experience? Oh, you went through fucking 4 years of high school in a communist ass fucking indoctrination plan, and then another fucking 10 years before that, and the rest of the fucking school, dude, for God's sakes. Like, nah, bro, you have no life experience. Come back to me when you're like 25, even 21 for that matter, dude. Come back to me in a couple years when you get some life experience. Skip fucking college, kids. Do something smart like going to trade school or something, for God's sakes, and then go from there is what it is, dude. And yeah, come back to me when you've actually experienced life, experienced fucking the hardships of, having to pay rent and everything else like that. Pay your bills, be a fucking independent person and stuff like that. Not, oh, I'm living under my mom and dad's roof still and stuff like that at 18 years old. And now I'm going to try to be a state rep and shit. Fuck you, dude. Seriously. It's a bunch of crap, dude, entirely. It's like, nah, bro. Live on your own for a few years, grow some fucking hair on your nuts, and then come back to me is what it is. And that's exactly why we'll be talking to state reps currently in the coming days about upping the Ohio eligibility to 21 across the fucking board for the state house and potentially to 25 for the governorship, dude. Or not the state house, but the General Assembly, I should say. So it'd be both state house and state senate, basically, would be the 21-year-old requirement, then it's to 18. And then it would be 25 for governor race and stuff like that, dude. Because again, it was 100% a different thing when you had 18 be the standard back in 1814, where men were actually men back then, where they were at 13, 14 years old, living on their own and shit like that in the fucking wilderness, dude. And making their own farmsteads and stuff like that. It's a whole different story in 2022 when you have an 18-year-old fresh out of fucking high school, communist indoctrinated for the past 12 years of their life and shit, dude. Doesn't know a damn thing, doesn't know their fucking ass from their elbow, has been in a fucking perpetual state of just insanity because of the fact that they have been put on lockdown mode for their entire life, knows nothing about fucking America before 9/11 happened, for God's sakes. Like, that's another thing too, by the way. Like, these fucking Gen Z kids, man. Like, they know nothing. They know nothing about America pre 9/11, dude, because they weren't alive before it happened, dude. And yet they have voting rights now. That's the scary fucking part right now to me, dude. These are the same assholes who, for 9/11 memorials, will sit there and fucking snicker and laugh and shit, dude. Fuck those kids, man. Seriously. Now, granted, the flip side of that is there are some good people in the Zoomer generation, the Gen Z generation, that are pretty decent people. But there's a lot of fucking assholes, dude. There's a lot of Tide Pod eating dipshits out there too, man. There's a lot of fucking let's snort some condoms and shit like that because we're fucking retarded kind of kids, man. So, yeah. It's idiocracy and then some, bro. But, like I said, thankfully Cho got beat, and hopefully Lawrence will get beat come November, dude. But anyway, that's pretty much it for today, though. Hopefully you guys will, sorry, I was looking at something. Yeah, hopefully y'all enjoyed this. I will not be back for a couple days now. I'm going to be doing some stuff here in the next few days now. I got a couple things I got to work on. Unless like there's an AWB that passes the Senate or something like that, I won't be back on YouTube at all for the foreseeable future. I'll just be talking about it on Rumble and shit like that then, if that be the case, dude. But anyway, yeah, I might do like a little snippet on here or something like that if it actually does pass the Senate and be like, yeah, it's unconstitutional. Here you go, blah blah blah. We will be suing, all that stuff like that is what it is and what have you. But other than that, it is what it is right now. Hopefully, they'll just be killed in committee in the U.S. Senate then, and we go from there then. But yeah, other than that, I got a lot of stuff I got to edit and stuff like that. I also got other stuff I got to do right now. I got to eat too because I haven't eaten today. And yeah, if y'all want to hear me tonight, or sorry, I should say, if y'all want to see the Ohio Patriot Education Network talking anywhere tonight, and by that I mean like in the side chats and stuff like that, I will be in NEA's Wednesday cast. I'll be modding that. So, you know, the one thing I have realized, dude, there is a lot of fucking, like, I don't know what it is anymore. It's like a lot of porn stuff coming up in those chats anymore, dude. The only thing I can think is maybe the Russian bots are back again, which YouTube really needs to deal with that shit, honestly, dude, for real. Like, if there's one thing this company needs to deal with, it's shit like that, dude. Like, seriously. We shouldn't have to do mod stuff to get rid of those like 10 fucking times in the same chat, dude, which is how many they're doing now. And the thing is, it's not like we're just like timing them out. We're hiding them from the fucking channel to ban their asses, dude. And yet there's another one that comes up like 5-10 minutes later is what it is, dude. It's ridiculous, bro. And it's not only that, it's not only just that dude's channel. It's like I was on AK's channel last night at the very end of his chat, and they were over there too, man. And it's like, Jesus Christ, YouTube, deal with your fucking shit, man. Like, we know you hire people, man. Get your fucking people on it, dude. Like, ban the, like, seriously, how hard is it to ban an account by fucking name, dude? If they're going to use a fucking name like Love Me, fucking best adult dating site, stuff like that, dude, just ban that fucking phrase from being used as a fucking account name then. And the same thing with other shit, dude. Where it's like talking about like kids and stuff, dude, where it's like little boys and girls, shit like that or whatever, dude. Because I've seen that crap too before, and it's like, goddamn, man. Like, just start banning those fucking spam accounts by name, dude. Jesus. Or allow people to actually just ban them outright on the fucking channel, dude. Seriously. You know? And be like, let's pre-ban these things, and you can just ban them by the fucking name then or something. That would be a nice feature, actually, now I'm thinking about it. If they would want to update the thing for the content users here, man, content creators and shit, it would be something like that where we could just put a fucking phrase in there and be like, I want this person banned from my channel forever is what it is, dude. And they just can't comment on anything. That's what it is, dude. So yeah, that would be the easiest way to do it, honestly, dude. Now granted, it would actually take people to do that then on their channels, but even still, like, you would have that feature available then. So anyway, I'm just rambling on at this point, and we are done for the day. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one.